All right, it's St. Patrick's Day Eve here at BourbonBlog.com, and who did I decide to invite to celebrate the day before St. Patrick's Day with me? It's my good friend Stephen Teeling, co-founder,
hey guys.
Teeling Distillery, sales and marketing director. You're right. You're actually at the Teeling Distillery right now, aren't you, my friend?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I think it was raising a glass for you. We're here nearly 8 years ago when we were just starting. So you go way back. You were there even before we were officially open. So yeah,
that's
great to see you all virtually, and probably fresher pre St. Patrick's Day than if you were to speak to me next week after the weekend that we have planned ahead.
No, it's great to see you nearly 8 years to the day, my friend. And of course, from seeing you all in your beginnings, following what you've been doing there at Teeling for many years, and including you all in our whiskey education series at Bourbon Blog. I mean, obviously, we love what you do. Your whiskey, you've really carved out such a special place in the world of Irish whiskey. So big congrats to you on that. That's just really incredible what you've done. And I thought it'd be a perfect time to have you pre-St. Patrick. First of all, you mentioned what you have planned for this weekend. What do you have planned, not only there at the distillery, but all around the world?
Yeah, I suppose it's our first proper global St. Patrick's Day in nearly 3 years because of all the ups, downs, swings and roundabouts we've had throughout the pandemic. So we have a lot of activations planned, in particular in the US. We've a whole host of Teeling events happening all around the country in I suppose true Teeling fashion, putting a spin on some of these traditional Irish celebrations. So we have these things called the Phoenix Snugs, or these parlors in a lot of bars where I suppose people can go and enjoy Teeling whiskey, can enjoy some twists on old classics like Irish coffees done in the Teeling way, some old classic cocktails, and hopefully not a huge amount of green beer in sight. So give people, I suppose, an authentic Teeling St. Patrick's Day experience on the ground in some of these bars all around the US. And I suppose hopefully give people a flavor for some of the stuff that we're actually doing in the distillery as well. With, we put a big emphasis on trying to create what we feel is one of the most interesting Irish coffees, where we do it the Dublin way, or a Dublin coffee, where we're utilizing a lot of different ingredients of locally roasted coffee. We use a stout syrup, and we're actually doing something really cool in New York by pairing up with a Brooklyn-based roastery, Variety, who are doing a really cool Teeling whiskey coffee truck right down there in right in the heart of New York, to give people what we would say an eye-opener on St. Patrick's morning, to get started and give them a taste of some specially bespoke roasted Teeling Irish coffees that we're going to be associating ourselves with some of the bars around the area, and give people really a glimpse in some of the innovations that we're using, not only in the whiskey, but also how we're kind of showing up. So again, we've taken something quite traditional Irish whiskey and hopefully innovated and made it quite fun. Irish whiskey is quite social, and St. Patrick's Day is a big celebration for that.
Absolutely. And again, the variety roasters, they're variety coffee roasters, they've actually roasted a coffee just for St. Patrick's Day that is a perfect blend, I hear, to blend in with the with that wonderful whiskey.
Yeah, well, we found a huge amount of crossover with, I suppose, the coffee producers, with even Alex Chasko, our master blender, based around flavors, so balance. So we worked with the team there in Variety to taste our whiskey and match it with a specific bespoke blend that we feel really, really accentuates a lot of the flavors of the whiskey, and also as well will stand up really, really nicely in an Irish coffee. And we've done a few bespoke cocktail kit packs, and was trying to put our own Teeling stamp on it to give people a really unique experience for St. Patrick's Day, because it's a widely celebrated Irish festival, but we're trying to probably recreate some of the stuff that we do in Dublin, in places like New York. And the Irish coffee, and as we call it, the Dublin coffee, is a big focus for us, innovating on what has been a really traditional way in which Irish whiskey is consumed and putting our own stamp on it. And the guys in Brooklyn there are really, really quality focused. They match with ourselves, and no better time to be giving people Irish coffees than on St. Patrick's Day to get them in the mood.
So everything, I mean, again, there's so many great things you're doing just to really make this such a special St. Patrick's Day. And as you mentioned, one of the first normal ones in several years. I want to make sure that everybody who's watching
Yes.
this live can go right to where all this is talked about. We have it up as a link live now on bourbonblog.com/Teeling. That will take you right to the coffee. That'll take you right to the snug, the cocktail kit. All of that is listed there. So if you're watching, go to that link. That will have all of what we're talking about, because you still have a little time to get that kit to go buy in New York or in many cities to get that parlor, that snug registered through the parlor room. A snug. Now, being in Ireland, spending some time with you there, my friend. What is a snug for those that don't know?
Snug is a sort of a special, a little secret area in a traditional bar in Ireland, where, you know, when the madness gets a little bit too much out there, you can escape to the snug, where you can enjoy, let's say, a nice craft cocktail, a whiskey, and actually catch up with people. And I think probably for St. Patrick's Day in particular, because there's a lot of energy going on, sometimes it's quite hard to have, I suppose, a specific area where you can go and enjoy, relax, enjoy your whiskeys, enjoy some conversation. And the snug or the parlor is this perfect example within a bar, a little area, a bar within a bar, where in Ireland, they sometimes even have a little secret hatch where you can order directly to the bar and you can get your drinks directly into this little snug. And it was usually kept for, I suppose, the regulars or some of the family members or people who are looking for a little bit more of an intimate occasion. So what we found, and, you know, luckily enough for me, traveling the whole world since a young age, celebrating St. Patrick's Day all around the world, it can be pretty lively. What we wanted to do is give people an opportunity to enjoy St. Patrick's Day, but also be able to enjoy their drinks. So these snugs are parlor bars, and we partnered with some of the best whiskey, craft cocktail bars around the whole of the US, and just having these little havens where people can go and enjoy themselves and maybe learn a little bit more about our whiskeys, you know, maybe scratch beneath the surface a little bit on some of the craft cocktails that we're doing, and yeah, just have a really good time. Because I think with St. Patrick's Day, with Irish whiskey and with everything that we stand for, it's a celebration of family, friends, you know, good Irish whiskeys, good cocktails, good drinks, and no better way to do it than in one of these snugs. I just thought it's a cool concept, kind of bringing what we do in Ireland to different areas around the US, and being able to do it physically, because for a while a lot of stuff was done virtually. We're saying this would be so cool that we could recreate this snug parlor bar environment, that we would have different areas in Dublin where the snugs and the parlor bars are the most sought after areas on St. Patrick's Day. And we would do something similar in the distillery, whereby you've been to Dublin plenty of times, so you understand the madness that is Temple Bar. We were always saying the distillery is more like an extended snug that people can go to enjoy nice drinks and a bit of calm before the madness. It's good to have a bit of madness on St. Patrick's Day, but, you know, to have an area to escape to that you can actually relax and enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. No, what a cool concept. And again, Stephen Teeling from Teeling Distillery, co-founder, sales and marketing director. Tell us down below as you're watching this what maybe one of your favorite Teeling expressions is, or if you've been to the distillery like I have, tell us that below. Now take us on a little bit of a mental journey to Dublin this week. What is it looking like there in Dublin as far as more tourists coming back for St. Patrick's Day? And what's it looking like there at Teeling?
Yeah, it's fascinating. I think we were just talking about it earlier on. We had our busiest Saturday in a very, very long time with, I suppose, a wall of people arriving into Dublin to basically party the whole week for St. Patrick's week. So if the weekend pre-St. Patrick's Day is anything to go by, the city is going to be off the charts. So I think what we had last year, we only got sort of probably 9 months of the year in terms of visitors into Ireland, just with the way things played out. But this year, I think we're planning on having nearly 800, 900 people through our doors. Actually, the day before and the day after St. Patrick's Day tend to be the busiest days. So today and the 18th, because if you've been to Dublin for St. Patrick's Day, the parade goes around the whole of the city, so it's not as easy to get around, and a lot of other activities are happening. So we're expecting probably 800-900 people today on Saturday, and then also for St. Patrick's Day, we're actually doing quite a lot of bespoke events. So we're doing a special food pairing with a really, really cool local producer, where we're pairing the whiskies with some bespoke Irish foods, which is getting a big crowd in. We're doing a showcase for our specific Irish coffee for a lot of US people who are traveling in for the day. We're doing even bespoke St. Patrick's Day cocktails. We're doing all sorts of good stuff. And the way in which this is all played out as well, Ireland are playing against England in Dublin in rugby on the day after St. Patrick's Day. So it's like the perfect storm of, yeah, it's as if every party occasion came together at the same time. And we have people from all over the world. We had 200 people in from the US yesterday. We've got a lot of touring parties who are over. Actually, even Notre Dame are playing American football here in August, and they somehow swung it that their fam trip to get the lay of the land was St. Patrick's week, almost like they planned it, before they're here in August. And we're working as a sponsor for that as well. So huge influx of different people, a huge influx of people here just to experience it. There's lots of concerts, lots of live music. We're doing a special pop-up bar downstairs in the distillery, opening things up. And yeah, it's just going to be a lot of fun. We're doing some specific distillery select tastings as well, where you can get a variety of different distillery exclusive tastings. Alex will be knocking around before he clocks off to go for a few drinks himself. So yeah, a whole lot of fun and a whole lot of excitement in the city again. It's great to see everyone back, and long may it continue.
This and again, yes, long may it continue. Some great games coming up. The rugby game, England and Ireland Saturday. And I had heard about that Notre Dame game, which Notre Dame is not too far away from where we're at. So that is incredible. Huge. That they're all by this week. That is very cool.
10 years since we're here. Yeah. So it's Notre Dame versus the Navy, and it'll be the first opening football game outside of their stadium. So I think they said 45,000 fans were already on their way. So the Fighting Irish traveling en masse, but yeah, it's fascinating. It's brilliant to see, and not just people from the US, people from all over. We've had Australians, Canadians. Oh yeah, it's just a celebration, and it's a really, really social event. And since you visited the distillery, I've subsequently had two children, and I'm bringing them now in to see the parade in Dublin. From having one big child of the distillery to having two of my own children. But it used to be a big tradition when we were younger that my father, who obviously has been involved in Irish whiskey for a long time, he used to bring me, my brother, and my sister in to see the parade, from an early age. So we'll be doing something similar, and we're actually doing it en masse. It's my brother and his kids, me and my kids, and then my father and my mother. So it's going to be a nice multi-generational Teeling affair in the morning, probably followed by a lot of fun had by the adults later in the evening.
No, that is it's so amazing everything you have going on. I'm going to put this website up also for people that can see because you have the small batch, you have the Blackpitts, you have so many expressions that we love. You have a couple now. One of them I got to talk with Alex about not too long ago. The 32-year-old Purple Muscat, and then the Wonders of Wood. I mean, you're really doing some great innovations there, like that no one else in the world of Irish whiskey has ever done. They've never done it. Oh, it's so beautiful.
I think that was the whole prep. Yeah. The whole premise of us setting up, and I think we would have said that to you, even how we've constructed the distillery was a real focus on innovation and trying to reimagine Irish whiskey in a different way. So Alex, and you've met him, you've spoken to him, came at Irish whiskey without a huge amount of, I would say, preconceptions, or he just came at it fresh, and he has given us a real insight into unique barrel maturation, unique mash bills. We use our own bespoke yeast in the distillery, and things like the Wonders of Wood, which for us was a big focus, because single pot still being inherently Irish, but also Dublin single pot still, which had fallen away for nearly 100 years. We were the first new distillery in such a long time. Yes. We wanted to come out there and say, look, this is us, this is Dublin, this is Teeling, and do it our way. And the Wonders of Wood is a real celebration of that. It's 50-50 malted, unmalted barley, but then we have fully matured it in this virgin chinkapin oak, which had never really been done before for single pot still, which, again, when we say Wonders of Wood, there's a lot more flexibility for Irish whiskey versus Scotch, whereby we can use different wood varietals, oak. And so we've used American oak. We've done a second one for Wonders of Wood 2, which would be Portuguese virgin oak. We've got a third one in the pipeline for using some Swedish oak. And again, it's great for us to present new styles of Irish whiskey that people really haven't experienced before. And this particular one, the Wonders of Wood, won World's Best Single Pot Still last year. And it was the first time we'd kind of wrestled the mantle from, I suppose, the big guys down there in Cork. Redbreast would have won it for many, many years. It was the first time ever anyone else has really won it. So that, for me, to go full circle from building a distillery from scratch, been involved in every process from the grains, the yeasts, how we run the stills, the barrel, to be able to step up and win World's Best was such a proud moment, and really, for me, has put a huge amount of, I suppose, confidence in what we're doing. And I think that Wonders of Wood, the single pot still, there's much more to come. And the 32-year-old that you would have tasted, we were blessed to have stock of some of this really old single malt, some of the world's oldest actual Irish single malt, that we've been able to take and put our own spin in it by putting it in interesting casks. And the Purple Muscat was, one of a few innovations that we've done in this series called the Very Rare Casks. And it's just finding really exceptional woods and looking for ways in which we can accentuate some of the flavors to come from some of that older single malt. And yeah, it's fascinating. We actually have a really, really old expression potentially in the pipeline for the end of the year, which would be a 40-year-old, which again, I think I would have been 2 years of age when that was distilled. So it's something pretty cool. But the Wonders of Wood and the Blackpitts, all of the stuff that we've done out of Dublin, 8 years on from when you were there, to be able to bottle stuff up that didn't even exist when you visited us first in Dublin, is hugely rewarding. And really exciting to be able to get it in front of people in the US and get them to taste it. And what I've noticed, and we had over 100,000 people visit us last year. We're hoping to get 120,000 people come through our doors. The amount of knowledge now coming through the doors in terms of US Irish whiskey connoisseurs is huge compared to when we started. So people coming to Dublin, looking to try things they hadn't tried before, really interested in different expressions, single malt, single pot still, peated Irish single malts, aged Irish single malts. It's really encouraging. You know, I can only see that getting better. It's one of the most exciting times in recent history to be involved in Irish whiskey. So, again, without getting too carried away, it's a brilliant time, and I can only judge by what I see. You know, with the people drinking Irish whiskey, it's a really good time to be involved.
Yes, it is, and to know that, you know, Irish whiskey. I've always enjoyed Irish whiskey for many years, but it seems like when you all came on the scene, you all really helped to inspire some innovation, obviously in your own distillery, but people, I think, have gotten more and more excited about Irish whiskey the last few years. Not just, I mean, obviously we're very excited about it for St. Patrick's Day, but we've stayed excited about it all year long, thanks to your innovations.
Look, and thank you, and I suppose like advocates like yourself as well. Like you've been hot on Irish whiskey before maybe Irish whiskey was where it is as it currently is, and you've been a big supporter. And again, I think what I've seen, you know, bourbon as well has been a really interesting one for us to see that explosion, because the higher proofs, the barrel aging, I suppose more flexibility that bourbon has had to excite consumers and open their eyes to maybe different expressions that maybe Scotch was quite focused in how they approach things, whereas American and Irish, I think, has loosened things up a bit. You know, world whiskies in general, it tends to be more open and social. And what I've found is social for Irish is very much enjoying it with people, asking questions. There's no massive hang up on the right way to do it, you know, so you can enjoy Irish whiskey straight. You can enjoy Irish whiskey with ice. You can enjoy it in a craft cocktail. You can enjoy different varieties, and there isn't maybe that stigma. Whereas, you know, for years I've traveled and done whiskey shows, and, you know, it was quite formal. And I think we viewed that Irish whiskey can be serious about the quality, but maybe just a bit more open to allowing people to enjoy it in different ways.
I agree. There's something that's
a huge amount of new entries. Yeah.
There's an approachability. There's a just like the people. There's a friendliness to the whole approachability of Irish whiskey, to the flavor. I mean, it really reflects the people in many ways. I think Irish whiskey does.
Yeah. Well, I suppose they would say people come to Ireland for the Irish welcome. So again, the I suppose openness of Ireland in general hopefully reflects in the whiskey. And I suppose our attitude, and we'd always be, you know, I have been walking around the distillery today. You can see backpackers from California. You can see retirees from the UK. You can see students from Ireland. And everyone is there for, you know, they're just open and they're looking to discover something. And it's a really cool environment to be in, because it just means that it's multifaceted and it's not an exclusive club, you know, where, you know, maybe in years gone by, whiskey can feel a little bit, it's a big jump in case you make the wrong decision. So Irish whiskey is undergoing a bit of a renaissance. I suppose we've been pushing it since probably 2012, all the way back to when my father started the distillery in the 80s. And we're just starting to see a real momentum shift. And the future is very bright. There's a lot of very good people now involved in Irish whiskey. A lot of very innovative, quality focused, and a younger generation doing things in a very different way. And it's just a very exciting time.
Well, it is an exciting time. So many innovations. I mean, from what I hear, there's so many innovations that you all have laid down there. You started with some very old stock. Now that you've been at this for a number of years, the whiskey you've been making there at your distillery, you have some older stock of your own. I mean, don't you now?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I think we're 8 and a bit years old. So, you know, a lot of our, you know, our Blackpitts, the Wonders of Wood, all of our single malt, they're all Dublin distilled, Dublin made. And I think as we get older, there's more we can do for the Blackpitts. We just did its first line extension, which was one called the Big Smoke, which was a cask strength version, which was a little bit of a heavier piece, which again, it's like slowly bringing people into peated Irish, which I think for a while people were like, "Oh, it's a big jump," but for us, it's just something that it was traditionally inherent. You know, peat is everywhere in Ireland. It's just something that got dropped when there was a monopoly in Ireland, and it's something we felt was really interesting. And single grain being another one that we're innovating on as well. And yeah, the Wonders of Wood series, the single pot still, cast strength versions, and you know, we've got a whole host of goodies. And I think the good thing about it is there's a growing following for a lot of the series that we're doing, like the Wonders of Wood, or even an understanding of what single pot still actually is, that there is much further to go. And Alex, just the nature of his skill set is very focused on innovation. So even going back 7-8 years ago, he was laying down stock in interesting casks. He was doing interesting mash bills with crystal malt, crystal rye. We've got all sorts of innovations that we can layer on top of the core range that we do. So really exciting. And as I said, the best thing about what we do is getting to present whiskeys that people weren't expecting, or discovering Irish whiskey in a very, very different way.
Yes, and there's something for everybody, whether it's the sweeter, complex approach of the Teeling Small Batch, which I love, or the Blackpitts. You got some beautiful smoke and sweetness. That Sauterne cask, the bourbon cask. Yeah. I mean, these are all so interesting. There's a wide range of flavors, and with those wide range of flavors, I understand there's a few favorite cocktails that you have. What are the favorite ones you have with your Teeling?
Yeah, I suppose it feeds back to our approach to Irish whiskey. So we've always been quite respectful for the tradition, but hopefully for us as a newer generation, putting our own stamp on it. So, you know, Irish coffee has been probably the most renowned, globally recognized Irish cocktail for nearly 50, 60 years. For us, it was taking that and trying to put our own Teeling stamp on it in a Dublin way. So, you know, I think I said just for St. Patrick's Day, it would be a big tradition of having a Irish coffee in our distillery, but we've, I suppose, named it in our own way. It's a Dublin coffee because we use obviously the whiskey made in Dublin, but also we then use a thing called a stout syrup. So we take a stout from Dublin being the home for one of the most globally recognized stouts in the world, take that from a craft brewery and reduce down the stout, make it into a syrup. And then also as well, we work with a local coffee roaster called Cloud Picker, which is about 1 kilometer away from the distillery. In the same way that we would have done it with the guys in Variety in Brooklyn, we went out and sourced what we felt was the best balanced blend of roasted coffee to go to try and create what we feel is the best Irish coffee in Dublin, and call it the Dublin coffee, to differentiate really away from the traditional standard Irish coffee that a lot of people would know. Also as well, we like riffs on old classics. So again, we would have done things like a Teeling Tipperary, or, you know, even utilizing the Blackpitts in a penicillin, or a Rob Roy, which again, people really wouldn't expect from an Irish whiskey because they don't expect it to stand up. And then we would have, I suppose, taken some inspiration from Jack McGarry there in the Dead Rabbit in New York. He would have created a thing called the Irish Maid, which again is a really light, refreshing, fruit-forward cocktail, which utilizes our small batch as the base to bring through some of those flavors. And, you know, again, just trying to open up, I suppose, perceptions to what Irish whiskey can be. And I think the whole thing that we try and do is innovate and add little twists. And I think the cool thing about the cocktails in the distillery is that there are a little twist, Teeling twists on cocktails that people would know, but we put our own stamp on it.
You put your own stamp on it. You've done that so well, and you're going to continue to. I put the website
and
up
through a lot of trial and error. We've drank a lot of them as well.
Hey, you know what? It's my kind of trial and error. You know, it's
a tough job, but someone's got to do it. You know,
that's right. So, is there a favorite for your family? Is there anything special that's a Teeling tradition for St. Patrick's Day that you all do?
Yeah, and I think I touched on it. As a family,
Yeah.
it's a big family occasion. So in the morning, you
Yeah.
go in and see the parade, but
See the parade.
by the afternoon, you know, you can catch up with family and friends. For us,
Right.
it would be going into the distillery. My three nieces, my brother's daughters, all three of the stills are named after them, so they go in to see their namesakes. Whereas I've had two. It must be something in the whiskey. I've had two daughters since, so we've 5 daughters between us. We have casks laid down for my 2 girls that their cousins have made. So they go in and they have an explore in the distillery and do it as a family day, and then we would then go and enjoy a couple of cocktails, a couple of whiskeys, and I have family and friends that fly in from all over the world just for St. Patrick's Day. And as I said, it's like all the moons are stars are aligning for this Irish rugby game as well. It's for us to win the championship against England at home in Dublin on Saturday, the day after St. Patrick's Day. So I have people traveling back from Australia. I have people traveling back for basically Paddy's Day and then for the Ireland-England match. So it's going to be one hell of a party. I'm hoping I can get some babysitters.
Well, here's to that. And again, Stephen Teeling, thanks for taking some time on St. Patrick's Day to really go through, what's going on, what has been going on. I put the link up that's going to give you all the things that Stephen Teeling and I have discussed. And we look forward to seeing you soon in Dublin, my friend. Thanks so much. Happy St. Paddy's Day
to
you.
Please come and see us. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, enjoy yourself. I hope you find one of the snugs. Cheers, Tom.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Launch it. Thank you.